This is the Liberty and Freedom Network. For more information, contact us at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Have you heard about a show called Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri? It's a talk show. Well, it's called Grab Bag Potpourri for a reason. They talk about everything under the sun, from education to politics, from lines at the cashier in the stores to parking lot drivers not paying attention. You want real radio? Well, you don't get any more real than that. That's Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri talk show. Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun.
We went to the streets to ask people, what do you like about Doc FM?
Oh, well, I think he's sexy. He has a very sexy voice, and he makes my headphones tingle.
I think the doctor is very smart. Everything he tells you, you must learn it, because it is smartness to know. Plus, he plays my favorite music. He plays like the 80s and the 70s and the 44s and the 62s.
J'ai pas eu une seule occasion de rester sans rien faire depuis que je suis arrivé à Camelot. Je suis trop occupé à courir derrière Arthur. Fais ci Merlin, fais ça Merlin. Et quand je cours pas derrière Arthur, je fais des corvées pour vous. Et quand je fais pas ça, j'accomplis mon...
Doc FM on Spreaker.com.
Well, it's no secret that Doctor won't play none of that countrified music, so I don't really listen to him that much, but when I do, it's a hoedown. The first time that I listened to the Doctor, he was making fun of the British. After I got over my attitude, I came back and listened to him. He's wonderful and raucous.
Listen to Doc FM every Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Spreaker.com.
The views expressed with your host, Reverend Wayne, on Spreaker.com.
Hey, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. This is the views expressed for the 14th of August 2012. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you. Yes, it is Tuesday. Got 3 more days before the weekend, so be patient. Be patient. Really, seriously. Now, we're going to have a pretty good show today because, first of all, I want to start out by saying this. I want to start out by pointing out some flaws in your logic. Okay? Just a few. All right? Just a few flaws in your logic. You know, I hear people tell me about my show, they don't want to come listen to it. They don't want to listen to it because they think, oh, it's not that political bull crap, is it? You know, I want to tell you people something specifically. I got 2 things to say about people who say that. So the first thing, I'm directing this next, what I'm about to say directly to those people who just really are clueless. Okay? Let me give you a clue there, Einstein. Everything is political. You get up in the morning, you go to work, I don't care what you do. You can be a retailer, you can be a warehouseman, I don't care. You can mow lawns for a living, it doesn't matter. It's all political. Why? Because you chose it to be. Okay? It's all your fault. All right? It is. It's your perspective of something that you think, believe it or not, should be your way. So what you do is you start compartmentalizing things. You start putting things in certain pigeonholes intellectually, and you say, well, I'm only going to go here and believe this. I'm only going to go there and talk about this. I'm only going to go over here and listen to this show. Let me tell you something there, Einstein. You ain't got a clue. Okay? You ain't got a clue about anything. Okay? When you go to the ballot box every 2 to 4 years, what do? Do you, prior to going, do you get your sample ballot and read all of the propositions and read everything that's going on and all what these candidates want? Do you really research this stuff and go into the ballot box with a full knowledge of what you're going to be voting for, who you're going to be voting for? No? Oh, you must be one of those people that get to the ballot box and read it right then and there on that little card or on that electronic voting machine, which can be hacked and all of that. So you must be one of those. If you're ultra liberal, you're fine when doing that because you already know. You haven't done your research, you haven't done your reading, you haven't vetted any of the candidates, you haven't looked at everything, you haven't examined the person's record, I can go down the list if you want me to. But I'm telling you something there, Sherlock. You ain't got a brain in your head to figure out anything, even to the point of attempting to tie your shoe. Why do you think you wear loafers? Why do you think you wear those shoes with the Velcro on it? Why do you think you, only want to do things and want people to do things your way? Because you think you're all that in a bag of Cheetos. Okay? By the way, little show note. I say it like it is. No holds barred. Don't like it? Find another show. If you don't, why don't you create one there at Spreaker.com and say whatever it is you want to say? Because listen up, Jackwad. You have absolutely no clue about politics. It's not about that stupid political crap, is it? All those, he's a conspiracy theorist. Really? Do you got a clue there at all? What? Are you more inclined to sit down with a beer and watch your stupid sports programs and your reality shows than actually go out and get involved with your community? Do you care more about yourself in that way than getting up and creating a show and putting out YouTube videos and all that, stating your views? Nobody needs to know what I know. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. That is the lamest excuse in the whole freaking world there, Einstein. All right? Well, I'm going to stop calling you Einstein because Einstein was pretty brilliant. I don't think you could have came up with the theory of general relativity, could you? No, you couldn't because you're dumber than a box of rocks. Okay? Oh. Well, I'm not leaving you Republicans out, you far right-wing, power-grabbing people that don't really give a crap about the Tea Party or Libertarian Party or anything like that. Oh, yeah. There's liberals in your group, too, So I'm talking directly to you as well. Let me just bottom line it for you before I go to my first break here. I come back for a longer segment. I'm going to say this. You people need to wake the hell up. Now. Now. Okay? But let me put a little caveat on that. Let me put a little cherry on top of that whipped cream. Shall I? You can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe anything that I say. You can go out and check this stuff out yourself. You can go to the New York Times and AP and go to the Army Times and look at how they're writing about what they have to do in their procedures in a civil unrest and what camps are open and what Kellogg Brown and Root, the contractor for the Department of Homeland Security, is doing to open up these FEMA camps for you. Why don't you go out and check it out yourself? But you can do whatever you want. I don't care. Hey, I'll buy you a six-pack of beer if you want to sit there and watch your stupid sports programs and your reality shows. Go ahead. As AC/DC would say, have a drink on me. Brian Johnson sang about that. Go ahead. Lose yourself in your ignorance. And I guarantee you, you'll be the first ones to have your door kicked down by the jackbooted, black-suited stormtroopers, taking your guns, taking your family, and shipping you off to a re-education FEMA camp somewhere. All right? So when I get back, go follow me on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Follow my stories, stories I've clipped and put up there. Thank you to all those people and websites. Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. I shall return in just a few moments. Calvin Wheeler is an American dreamer in a triple threat cage match with his two biggest adversaries, everyday life and himself. His marriage to the woman he believed to be his soulmate is rapidly evaporating before his eyes. The book he's been working on for over a decade is slipping through his fingers as he struggles to complete it. As these pressures grow, Calvin compensates by conjuring up outrageous road rage scenarios in the multiplex of his mind. To make matters even worse, he drives for a living. As his life, job, and dreams simultaneously implode, his wild fantasies begin to literally bleed over into reality. Now, with a gun in one hand and a steering wheel in the other, this distant runner-up in the human race feels empowered for the very first time. And the moral to the story? Traffic can be murder. Red Asphalt by Scott Cherney. Available on the Kindle and in paperback at Amazon.com. It's New York, February 6, 1964. The Beatles are making their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show in one more day. The Plaza Hotel is crazy with the preparations. Alex Frazier, a desk clerk, has secretly let his brother Freddie use the penthouse suite for the evening so he can wine and dine the girl of his dreams. What Alex and Freddie don't know is the Secret Service are using the same room to hide spy novelist Henry Lade. His most recent novel has attracted the attention of the Soviets and East Germans. The communist countries believe Lade may have secretly discovered their plot to bomb Fresno. Assassins are dispatched to kidnap or kill Lade, whichever is easiest. What Agent John Parker and Henry Lade don't know is the Beatles are staying in the same room for their first appearance on American television. Let's Get Laid by Thomas Amo, available on the Kindle at Amazon.com. You were listening to the views expressed right here on the Liberty and Freedom Network. we are back. This is the Views Expressed for the 14th of August, 2012. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday because we got 3 more days of this left. What's the temperature out there? What's going on in your neck of the woods? How's your politics working out there? How's this hopey, changey thing going for you? Email me right here at the show at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. If you want to email the show itself, you can send your email to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. More than happy to hear from you and see what's going on in your neck of the woods. If you happen to be listening to this on the website associated with this show, over on the right-hand side of the page, there's a book called Many Directions of Men. Please pick it up. It's my views and opinions as to what's going on, some of the solutions that may work. I don't know. It's just my opinions and my views and, stuff like that. If you care to see what they are, that's a good book to get. There is a new version coming out. I'm going to add some stuff, redo some stuff, new covers, so look forward to that. I will be announcing that at the time. Also on the right-hand side, you got some tabs you can click on. There's one there called Store. You can click on that and promote your patriotism by buying stuff if you'd like. There is also a donate button there on the left-hand side. This is a listener-supported show. Please, that helps keep the website up and this show going. If you can help, I do appreciate it very, very, very much. And if you support me, I'm going to put this out right now. I was going to send it out in an email, but I'll put it out right now. If you support me and you have a show on Spreaker.com, I will promote your show. Send it to me. Email audio clips to me, just one, no more than 30 seconds. That would be cool if you can do that. To Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Got some more little promotional things coming up soon. I will let you know about those when the time comes. Again, the website, Many Directions of Man. Check that book out. You can donate or you can buy stuff. Hey, just keeps the show going and keeps the website up. So thank you very much. Onward and upward. Follow me on the Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. And we will go there right now to show you what I'm going to be talking about. Got a little picture up there with a child and an old man with a coat, opening his coat. The old man is called the drug pusher, and the caption reads, "Hey, Sonny, you look depressed. Here, take some Prozac. You're hyperactive. You need Ritalin. Take this, take that. It's okay, I'm a doctor." Let me tell you, a little caption next to it that somebody wrote. Thank you, Truth Beckons. Give them full credit for this. National disaster. Millions of children prescribed antipsychotic drugs they don't need. Are doctors going crazy? U.S. psychiatrists prescribe antipsychotic drugs to children in 1/3 of all visits, which is a rate almost 3 times higher than during the 1990s. Roughly 90% of the antipsychotic prescriptions written between 2005 and 2009 were prescribed for something other than what the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approves them for. Researchers say the increase in antipsychotic drug prescription is largely to treat the disruptive behaviors, because parents aren't doing their job, including attention deficit and hyperactive disorder, which does not exist. I will tell you about that here in a second. Even though these disorders are not treatable by antipsychotics, Let me interject the DSM-4 and the DSM-5. The APA, the American Psychiatric Association, former members have blown the whistle, saying that everything in those books, the DSM-4 and DSM-5, are false and a bunch of bull crap. Okay? They are made up. Continuing, medications such as Abilify or Risperdal, which are used primarily to treat patients with schizophrenia, are increasingly being prescribed, quote-unquote, off-label, to control youngsters with ADHD or who have problems controlling their behavior. Quote, only a small portion of antipsychotic treatment of children, 6%, and adolescents, 13%, is for FDA-approved clinical indications, unquote, said Dr. Mark Olfson, Olfson, a professor of clinical psychiatry at Columbia University, in an interview with Reuters news organization. Children with ADHD are most often taking drugs approved for schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and irritability with autism. Quote, people from all walks of life are taking medication for mental health conditions, unquote. Psychiatrist David Muzina, I can't talk today, Muzina, M-U-Z-I-N-A, Muzina, told the Wall Street Journal. In 2010, Americans spent $16.1 billion, that's with a B, on antipsychotic drugs meant to treat bipolar disorder and schizophrenia and depression. But whether they are effective or not, the drugs have been known to cause other health problems, such as diabetes, high cholesterol, muscular tics, and weight gain. The University of Massachusetts study found that kids taking antipsychotics were 4 times more likely to develop diabetes. Between 1993 and 2008, 31 children died from taking Risperdal, R-I-S-P-E-R-D-A-L. Risperdal. More than 1,200 suffered serious health problems. Quote, we have a national catastrophe, unquote, Dr. Peter Breggin told U.S. News World Report. Quote, this is a situation where we have ruined the brains of millions of children, unquote. But in many cases, antipsychotic drug prescriptions are not even necessary to treat behavioral disorders. No, because parents need to do their job. There are psychosocial interventions, such as parent management training, that are able to reduce aggression and disruptive behaviors in kids, Olfson said. Instead of taking the time and money to gradually reduce their children's behavioral problems, parents are opting for antipsychotic medications for an instant fix. Drugged from a very young age onward, many American children grow up dependent upon serious antipsychotic drugs they had no need for. There's a link on that picture, endtheline.com. So click on that link to get more information, okay? Now, I am done dealing with parents. I was a step-parent at one point. So I know, and we were all children at one point, were we not? So we know what our parents went through that we would claim that we would never do to our children. Did we not do this? I'm sure we did. So think about it. Kids have behavioral problems. They're getting drugged up because of ADD and ADHD and other problems, the behavioral situation. You have to be the parent. The parent says, you will stay by me in a store. I will hold your hand. You will go nowhere. But I have 3 kids in the store, and they are, no. You want to go to the store? You know what you need? You get somebody to watch your kids. I can't trust anybody. Excuse me? Yes, I know all of the excuses and reasons and all of that. I know all of the excuses that parents use. Why? Because I was a step-parent. because I know parents, because I know single parents, moms and dads, and I know couples, and I know, now get this, I know teenagers and young adults, 18 to 25, who are parents themselves. Okay, I talk to people. Obviously, you don't. Okay? So I am done with parents. You're either going to do your job, which is parenting, or you're just going to let your kids run rampant all over the neighborhood and do whatever they want to do without any boundaries whatsoever, and possibly either get themselves kidnapped by some crazed freaking pedophile out there, or worse. Parents, do your damn job. Keep your kids quiet in the store and keep them by you, because you never know who is out there. Okay? Dugan, what was her first name? The girl that was 11 in California, got kidnapped, was raised for 18 years by the kidnappers. Had this Stockholm Syndrome thing going on, apparently. She wrote a book about it, big, thing. Do you really want your kids to go missing or worse? Then parent them. I know I was a step-parent, so don't give me any more of your crap, okay? I'm divorced because, well, let's just say my ex-wife seemed a little, does the word dictator mean anything to you? Okay, Mama didn't raise no fool, Daddy didn't raise no fool, Grandma didn't raise any fool, and I guarantee you I grew up very well, very educated, and very resourceful. And trust me, there's not a parent that I know personally that can say that their kids are angels. Oh, my kid's good. They don't do anything bad. Do they pull the dog's tail? Do they yell at their sister? Does the older brother jump on the younger one just because he thinks it's fun to beat him up? Well, they're kids. That's their job. You're the parent. Okay? We're only doing the best we can. Okay, I'll give you that. Kudos. But that's only one. My mom and dad did the best they could, too. And I love them for it, because I learned a hell of a lot. And basically, I learned what not to do. So parents, get your heads out of your ass and start parenting and stop coddling your children. Okay? Just, I don't want to hear it. You need to parent. If you disagree with me or agree with me, doesn't matter, either way, whichever side of the field you're on, email me personally in this show, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I would love to hear from you. But let's go on and move on to something else. From worldcrunch.com. You can go to the link on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. From worldcrunch.com. Catholic Church makes a fortune in the German porn business. Weltbild, Germany's largest media company, sells books, DVDs, and more, and music and more, and also happens to belong 100% to the Catholic Church. Few people knew about this connection until this month when Book Report, a German industry newsletter, reported that the Catholic company also sells porn. The church spokesman responded, Weltbild tries to prevent the distribution of possibly pornographic content, unquote. Well, its prevention efforts have apparently not been so successful. For more than 10 years, a group of committed Catholics have been trying to point out what was going on to church authorities, and they are outraged at the hypocrisy of the spokesman's statement. In 2008, the group sent a 70-page document to all the bishops whose dioceses have shared ownership of the Weltbild for 30 years, detailing evidence of the sale of questionable material. Today, the Augsburg-based company employs 6,400 people, has an annual turnover of 1.7 billion euros, it's a whole lot more in American money, and an online business in Germany second only to Amazon. Weltbild is also Germany's leading bookseller, controlling 20% of the domestic bookstore market. Profits are regularly reinvested in the company with an eye to rapidly increase the market share, an increase that is only possible if Weltbild continues to sell materials that are not compatible with the teachings of the church. The 2,500 erotic books in their online catalog, including those from Blue Panther Books, an erotic book publisher owned by Weltbild, are only one example. Their titles include Lawyer's Whore. It's in German, so I'm not reading the German. I'm reading the English translation. I'm not going to say that one either. You can go to the page. Or Slut's Boarding School. The church also owns 50% share in the publishing company Dromer Nuer, which produces pornographic books, and so indirectly is also publishing pornographic material titles, including, and you can go there and check all that out. Read the full article in German, it says down below. Read the article originally on Die Welt. I give you all the credit over there, World Crunch. I just want to analyze this story and tell you and tell my listeners this. Big, massive problem. Big neon sign saying hypocrisy here. You might as well put it over St. Peter's Basilica, because right there you go. Can you imagine, just for a moment, and I just got this visual in my head, where there's little stalls all over St. Peter's Basilica inside the Vatican right there, you know, in the courtyard, with booze, selling porn and selling all kinds. Can you imagine that? Okay, yeah, problem, hello. Not a winning situation there. The Catholic Church makes a fortune in the German porn business. Really? And we're supporting the Catholic Church over here? No wonder there are pedophiles in the church and former defrocked priests working at TSA. Are you out of your flipping minds? Okay? I mean, seriously. All right? And not only that, there's a video here which is posted, and I clicked on it by accident, but it's on Liberty and Freedom Network, and it talks about the Catholic Church. Now, come on. You know, to those people I talked about earlier in the, at the beginning of the program, who say, "Oh, it's not that political crap again, is it?" There's all sorts of crap going on. And I know people that use the excuse like, well, if it doesn't affect me directly, then I don't care. Dumbass. Yes, I channeled Walter at that point. Thank you, Jeff Dunham. But the fact of the matter is that everything affects you. This affects you. This affects the Catholic Church. And you're sitting there going, where's my beer? I'm going to watch my boxing on ESPN. I don't go to church. I don't have to worry about it. You know, I don't have to worry about any of that because I don't go to church. Really? Do you know right now that the Catholic Church in America owns tons and tons of companies? Do you know this? Do you know this? Okay? Do you know that there are companies in America owned by Mormons? Do you know this? There's a church in Stockton, California, where I grew up, my hometown. There's a church called Christian Life Center. They own apartments and housing development areas and tract homes. And it's a church. They own those things, okay? Now, you're going to sit there and you're going to say, where's my beer? I want to watch my boxing. But you don't give a crap about the Catholic Church putting their hands on your kids. You don't care about TSA putting their hands down your pants. You don't care about, Department of Homeland Security ordering up 1.5 billion rounds of ammo to use against you because you're going to rebel, and they know it. You don't care that the police are now, the law enforcement, peace officers are now militarized under Department of Homeland Security policies. You don't care, and all you want is your stupid beer to watch your stupid boxing. You are out of your mind. You might as well pack your crap, everything you own, or sell it off and go move to an island somewhere, all right? But beware, somebody's going to come along and take it from you because it's theirs, they're going to say. No holds barred show, folks. This is no holds barred. I tell you if something is stupid, dumb, idiotic, illogical, and I also tell you if it's the smartest thing I've ever heard. And I'll tell you the positive in this. In this particular case with the Catholic Church owning porn shops and porn publishers and all that, the positive thing is that, yes, over the years since the scandal of pedophilia through the Catholic Church, over the years, things have been done in a positive way to get rid of those people and jail them if they have to. I believe right now that if you are Catholic, if any listeners are Catholic and go to church, let me tell you what you need to do. At least from my perspective. Here's what I would do. Okay, here's what I would do. All right? I would confront my priest in the church and say, I just heard this story that the Vatican is, the Catholic Church owns, porn publishers and they're peddling porn over and go look at, go look, Weltbild, go over there, here's the article right here in my hand, go check it out. What is your opinion on this? What are you going to do about this? Now, of course, some people will say, well, there's really nothing that a local church can do within their own diocese. Okay, then you go to the head person in the diocese. You say, hey, I don't like this. What are you going to do about it? What are we as a congregation going to do about it? You're the leader of this diocese. What are you going to do about it? Okay? I mean, the Catholic Church owns a lot of stuff. Okay? So, that's something I would do. You can do whatever you want, but that's what I would do. Okay? It's just, I don't know, man. You get to the point where you're going, wait a minute, why is this happening? wait a minute, why is this happening the way that it is? I don't know. Who started all of this? You know what I mean? Who put all of this in the Catholic Church into play so that it would wind up, somebody leaked it out, so it would wind up, somebody found out that they were peddling porn. You know? It's unusual, yes. Is it deadly? Yes. But I got to tell you, going back to what I said at the beginning of the show, if you people think this is just a political show, you are out of your flipping minds. I talk about everything under the sun in this show. It's called The Views Expressed for a reason. You can email me your views on several situations by emailing the show at libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. libertyandfreedomnetwork@usa.com. If you want to email me personally at the show, email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. There's a lot of stuff I want to get into. There's a lot more coming down the line, too. I want to be able to, talk to you about this. It's stuff is stuff, man. Seriously, this is not cool what the Catholic Church is doing. All right? Not cool at all. So, we're going to get out of here for a little bit. Go for a little break. Regroup, reset, redo stuff. Go check out some stuff. Follow me on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. That's where I'm going to be at when I get back, right after this. you have experience at voiceover work and voicing various characters? Eastland, a sci-fi radio theater, is looking for you. If you are a writer or an actor and would like to have your material showcased, please contact Eastland Radio Films for more information. For more information, please send an audition clip to eastlandradiofilms@usa.com. Put into the subject line Voices so the email is delivered correctly. That's eastlandradiofilms@usa.com.
What does freedom mean? Tune in to LRN.FM to find out. LRN.FM is the Liberty Radio Network, a collection of live talk radio and podcasts, all coming from a principled pro-liberty perspective. LRN.FM show hosts aren't left, right, or conspiracy kooks. You can tune in 24/7 to LRN.FM via your phone, computer, satellite, and more. Listen free anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. This is the 14th of August, 2012. You're listening to the views expressed on the Liberty and Freedom Network, broadcasting live from the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, broadcasting on Spreaker.com. I shall return right after this.
The views expressed with your host, Reverend Wayne, on Spreaker.com.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. This is the Views Expressed. We have a short segment right now, so please bear with me. The top of the hour will change gears and go in a different direction, so stay tuned for that. Right now, I want to direct your attention to the Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. That's where you can post your stuff too as well. It's all right. You can email me there as well too if you'd like. Facebook. I want to point out to you folks in New York. You got a big problem with your mayor in New York City. Big problem. Huge, massive problem with Mayor Nanny State Bloomberg. Huge problem. You really want that? Give you an example. I like my 32-ounce Big Gulp. Apparently they're outlawed there now. I live in an open carry state. I plan to. What about you? Over there on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook, I wrote, I'm not a criminal. I've got nothing to hide. Really? That's what most people say, by the way. Really? I say this because New York City is putting in high-tech futuristic cameras and surveillance tools, and many cities are doing the same thing. There are cameras in downtown Reno, Nevada, as well as other tools for tracking us. There is a prototype that a tech company is working with in cooperation with Facebook to recognize you when you go into a store, tracking your movement, purchases, etc. So next time you come into the store, they'll know exactly what you want, what to buy, what you buy, etc. What do you think about that? I have 3 links there for you, people. From Fox News, Daily Mail, and WND, New York unveils new high-tech system to track crime and terrorism. Do not believe that. It's there to track you. If you got nothing to hide, that's okay. But why are they tracking you? What, you didn't pay? Oh my God, you went to the store and didn't come out and put the 50 cents in the parking meter. Oh my God. Oh, you made a right-hand turn against a light. You didn't come to a full stop. Oh, my God. Yeah, so that's what's happening, folks. So click on that link there on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Click on that link and, read away. I got 3 links there. Go ahead and check it out. On top of that, I want to say that, to my friends up there in Canada, been to Perry Sound. Been to Canada. It's a nice place. Perry Sound is an awesome place. Thank you. I don't like your laws too much. From sovereignman.com, even the Canadian government is violating their citizens' rights. Sovereign Man, a few days ago, posted this on the 8th of August, 2012. The suppression of human rights is not a new concept and is taking place at an increasing rate worldwide. When people think about oppressive governments, Canada is definitely not the first one that comes to mind. Recent student protests, however, have led the Canadian government to take a more tyrannical approach to maintaining order. CBC News reports on Canada's Bill 78 and its explicit violation of citizens' freedom of speech and right to protest. Yeah, let me continue to the full article, but let me read you the full thing. Well, what they're looking at, okay? Here it is. Sections of Bill 78, C, D as in dog, P as in pie, D as in dog, J as in junior, says violate the charter. Sections of Bill 78, C, D, P, D, J says violate the charter. Article 13. Because it affects freedom of expression, of reunion, and peaceful association. Now, let me go back and just give you some highlights of this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. It's really freaking long. Okay. You can get a PDF of the original document, by the way. But, I have to correct myself. See, I don't know everything. The article isn't that long. You can go see it on the link on Liberty and Freedom Network. It'll say continue the story or whatever down at the bottom of Sovereign Man, link. And it goes to www.cbc.ca. Says this. Quebec's special law, Bill 78, that suspends a school semester and limits some protest, impedes on people's fundamental rights, according to the province's Human Rights Commission. The commission, known as the CDPDJ, issued its review of the emergency legislation that was enacted in May at the height of the Quebec's student protests over tuition increases. Good for them. They need to protest. Continuing, the 56-page commission analysis finds Bill 78 doesn't respond to the minimum requirements laid out by Quebec's Charter of Rights and Freedoms. In particular, the commission takes issue with sections of the law that prohibit protests on school property as a direct attack or as direct attacks on freedom of expression and association as guaranteed under the Quebec Charter of Rights. Bill 78 lays out strict rules for demonstration of more than 50 people, including having to give 8 hours notice for details such as the protest route, the duration, and the time at which they are being held. The law's quote-unquote prejudicial elements should be proportionate to the benefits it brings to the public good, said CDPDJ President, I don't know, it's French, forgive me. As it stands, the legislation includes some articles the Commission says are, quote, stated in large and unclear terms, unquote. The CDPDJ's analysis is not legally binding. Only a court of law can render the legislation invalid. Sections of the Bill 78 CDPDJ says violate the Charter. Article 13, because it affects freedom of expression, of reunion, and peaceful association. Article 14, because it affects freedom of peaceful greetings and in association, freedom of expression by making it illegal to assemble a group within or outside an educational institution. Articles 12 to 14, because they directly impact people's sense of solidarity and personal convictions toward a cause. Article 15, because it imposes certain responsibilities on student association under Quebec's charter. Associations do not have control or the right to exert such control over members. Articles 16 and 17, because it requires approval for protests larger than 50 people in violation of freedom of expression and peaceful assembly. Articles 18 through 31, because it imposes financial sanctions in violation of freedom of expression and peaceful assembly. The Commission says Bill 78 is so unclear about what acts are legal or illegal. The Quebec's Liberal government cited Article 9.1 of the province's Chart of Rights and Freedoms when it first introduced its emergency legislation. Article 9.1 states that certain freedoms can be revoked if people's security is endangered. The emergency law has been under fire from student group and civil rights activists. After its adoption on May 18th, opponents launched a court challenge against the law. The coalition of groups also requested a temporary injunction to suspend Bill 78 pending the legal challenge. That injunction request was rejected in court on June 27th. Let me point something out to my Canadian neighbors and friends up there, okay? Let me just nail this to the wall for you folks. Number one, you're human beings. Number two, hopefully you're operating in common sense and know what the law is and knowing all that. Number three, read your Charter of Rights. Like we have to read our Bill of Rights. Please do, because the more that you have, for lack of a better phrase, the more ammunition you have against your government and the more that you protest against Bill 78 or any type of bill or law that is violating your freedom of speech and freedom of expression is something that you need to do. You need the ammo. You need the foundation. You need the intellectual power behind it. And it's not only going to come in the numbers of people on the streets, it's going to come in the laws that you, the citizens of Quebec and Canada, what you do to change those laws when it comes time to vote. Okay? This is what we're doing down here. Slow at times, a little bit quicker at times, a little bit, things change, you know what I'm saying? We are suppressed to the point of having all of our rights taken away, my Canadian neighbors. We have a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, which I will stand on and defend with my life against enemies foreign and domestic. And if that includes our own federal government in Washington, D.C., that's exactly what I'm going to do. So you need to do the same thing. I know you people are doing it. I know there's groups up there protesting and all that. Great. Virtual high five. But is it making the change that you desire? You have to make that change. You have to push a little harder. I've seen people here, because we have the freedom of expression, literally take a copy or, have a picture of something like the Constitution and burn it. We've had flag burnings here because we have a freedom of expression. People have left this country and come up there and also have gone to Mexico and overseas to Russia and Europe and all other places because they don't like the United States of America being a tyrannical government. And is that what Stephen Harper is doing for you guys? Creating an unstable government? Yes, fascism, any flavor of totalitarianism is unstable. It cannot be sustained. And it's going to take you people and us to fight, to defend, to relinquish our egos and say enough's enough. That's what we're going to have to do. I'm even talking to the folks here in the great old USA. If Bubba down the road is going to sit there and drink his beer and watch his stupid sports program, then you, his neighbor, are going to have to defend his ignorant ass. Okay? No holds barred show, folks. I'm going to tell it like it is. Yes, I do believe there are some really dumb people out there who actually have no sense of what the Constitution is, the Bill of Rights are. Not that they weren't educated, but that they looked at it and went, I really don't care. It's not affecting my life in a personal way, so I really don't care. I just I'm going to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to come home, have a beer, and kick my feet up. I don't care. Really? Pack your crap and get the hell out of my country. Don't go to Canada because it's winding up being the same way. You know, just FYI, a little side note, there's over, I believe, if my numbers are correct me if I'm wrong, please, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. There are over 3.5 million Americans that live in Mexico because they've married Mexican women or have businesses down there or whatever it is. They live down there. Well, guess who controls that country? Felipe Calderon, who is, a puppet of the drug cartels. Hey, Eric Holder sends the guns down there and the drugs down there and sends the gun. They get the guns over in the U.S. and the drugs in the U.S., and they blame the Second Amendment. Look at that. Whoa. We got guns here on the streets and the people got killed. We need to suspend the Second Amendment. No, you don't there, genius. You need to shut the hell up. Fire the people in Washington, D.C., prosecute them to the fullest extent of the Constitution, of the law under the Constitution, and throw their butts in prison. That's what you need to do. You're going to sit there with your finger up your nose. So you do something constructive instead of drilling for gold or something, digging for gold. What are you, going for a nugget up there? What's going on? Go any further, you're going to touch your brain. I mean, serious. Serious. Canadian people, you freedom fighters up there, you defenders of freedom and liberty, I give you a virtual high five. Students in your universities, all around Parry Sound, Quebec, everywhere in Canada, call to action. I give you a virtual high five. I'm behind you. Continue on with the fight for freedom. Thank you very much. There's a lot of things going on. I was going to wait a few minutes to go to a break, but as you can tell, I need a little something to drink. I got some water right here. Water. That's all it is. Okay. So I'm going to go for a little break. We're going to be back in about 3.5 minutes. Go do what you got to do. We'll come back. We'll hit it up some more. Follow me on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. You can also follow me on Twitter. I don't Twitter that much, but you can follow me there anyway. Go to twitter.com/ULCRev62. Follow me there. Yes. We shall be back in just a few moments. 3.5 minutes, actually. We'll be back.
Listen to Angel Cluck Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Have you heard about a show called Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri? It's a talk show. Well, it's called Grab Bag Potpourri for a reason. They talk about everything under the sun, from education to politics, from lines at the cashier in the stores to parking lot drivers not paying attention. You want real radio? Well, you don't get any more real than that. That's Diane and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri talk show. Fridays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun.
We went to the streets to ask people, what do you like about Doc FM?
Oh, well, I think he's sexy. He has a very sexy voice, and he makes my headphones tingle.
I think the doctor is very smart. Everything he tells you, you must learn it, because it is smartness to know. Plus, he plays my favorite music. He plays like the 80s and the 70s and the 44s and the 62s.
J'ai pas eu une seule occasion de rester sans rien faire depuis que je suis arrivé à Camelot. Je suis trop occupé à courir derrière Arthur. Fais ci Merlin, fais ça Merlin. Et quand je cours pas derrière Arthur, je fais des corvées pour vous. Et quand je fais pas ça, j'accomplis mon...
Doc FM on Spreaker.com.
Well, it's no secret that Doctor won't play none of that countrified music, so I don't really listen to him that much, but when I do, it's a hold down. The first time that I listened to the Doctor, he was making fun of the British. After I got over my attitude, I came back and listened to him. He's wonderful and raucous.
Listen to Doc FM every Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Spreaker.com.
Hey, this is the Views Expressed for the 14th of August, 2012. Yes, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. How you doing? Yes, I'm a reverend. I'm legal. I can marry, bury, and baptize people. Hopefully not in that order. There's a lot of things going on, so follow me on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Check it out. You can email me there. You can drop your stories on there. If you have stories, go ahead. You know, if you write your own, that'd be cool. Okay? So, yeah, if you have stories, you want to drop them on there, you find something of interest, yeah, put it on the Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. Yeah, go ahead. Or, I send out an email newsletter. Okay? And if you have an article that you wrote on stuff that you know about, please send that, and if you want me to put it in the newsletter, please send that to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Now, follow me there on Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook. And I'm going to tell you something. I got like two more stories that I want to talk about. From sovereignman.com. Another example why central planning is a bad idea. If you hear central planning or sustainable development or any number of those phrases, run. Okay, just run. Right? Because it's Agenda 21 all the way around. Go check it out. Go to startpage.com. Go search Agenda 21. That's what it is. Okay? Let me read you this article from Simon Black, 8th of August 2012, Oxford, England. He says, I've noticed something strange over the past few weeks. Maybe you have too. It seems that every contrarian website out there has joined together to collectively bash the Olympics and anyone who tunes in to watch. This seems nuts. Nobody should feel guilty for wanting to see athletes in the peak condition push the boundaries of human performance. And as he says, I certainly don't feel guilty about it. In fact, I came to the UK several days ago specifically to catch some of the Olympics live. Unfortunately, it turned out to be much more difficult than I expected. As it turns out, the British government has centrally planned Olympic ticket issuance in a way that's so remarkably inefficient that it would make Karl Marx look like Steve Jobs. There's only one way to buy London Olympic tickets, through the official office that's controlled by the government. They've been solidified. They've even solidified their monopoly by making it a criminal offense for individuals to resell Olympic tickets. The concierge at my hotel, an affable Italian named Paolo, explained to me that the police even came around to warn, i.e. threaten, him against helping hotel guests find tickets. Paolo directed me to the government's official website so I could buy tickets the legal way. I quickly found out how Byzantine it is. There are all sorts of ridiculous hoops to jump through. If you're a resident of the UK, you follow one procedure. If you're a resident of the EU, you follow another. If you're a resident of other countries, you follow yet another. Then after creating an online profile and giving them all sorts of personal information, they'll actually mail, i.e. snail mail, the physical tickets to the address you give them in your profile, and only to the address of your legal residency. It doesn't matter if you're traveling. The alternative is that you could spend a couple of hours going to one of the ticket offices, all of which seem to have been strategically chosen for being in the most inconvenient locations possible. Even if you can get through the maze, they've really screwed up their inventory management. Nobody seems to have any idea what tickets are available at any given time. An event may be sold out at 10 a.m., then have hundreds of seats available by noon. The government's central planning of the Olympic ticketing has been a complete failure, perhaps best evidenced by the thousands of empty seats at many of the events. Annoyed beyond belief, the writer says, I've asked the concierge at my hotel if there were any alternatives. He said maybe, told me to write down my phone number and wait. Within a few minutes, my phone started ringing off the hook with calls from ticket brokers. Since the government made it illegal for these guys to sell tickets, they've been pushed into dodgy underground boiler rooms for the past 2 weeks as if they're Prohibition-era bootleggers trying to move a shipment of hooch. Negotiating ticket prices with these guys, I couldn't believe we were talking about a sporting event. It seemed more like an arms deal. One guy asked me 3 times if I was a cop, and another refused to give me his phone number when I said I needed to call him back. Totally crazy. The government has managed to monopolize an entire industry and screw it up with Soviet-level inefficiency, then make it a criminal offense for the private sector to fix it. This is typical of how a government operates. They take a very cavalier attitude because they don't care about the results. They only care about maintaining control. As a result, they run their operations based on a premise that people really have no choice. With regards to Olympic ticketing, this is mostly true. My choice was either to go through the system legitimately, albeit painfully, deal with some dodgy backroom ticket broker at 3 times the price, or just watch it on television. In our regular lives, though, we do have a choice. A single government need not have a monopoly over our lives. As human beings, we are fundamentally free. Like I told my Canadian friends up there, yes. I'm stopping right here to reiterate. Canadians, fight for your freedom. As human beings, we are fundamentally free. We can choose where we live, where our money lives, where we pay taxes and how much we pay, where to structure our companies, where to hire our employees, which regulations to adhere to, etc. You can hold your savings in one country, store gold in another, own property in another, have legal tax residency in another, live in another, have a business in another, etc. This is what I call planting multiple flags, essentially using the system against itself. And it is, by far, one of the most effective ways to take your freedom back and end your home government's monopoly over your life. Okay? Click on the link, Liberty and Freedom Network. One thing stands clear, and always has been clear to me. Washington, D.C., and their tentacles out to the rest of us, Washington, D.C. has absolutely, positively, utterly, 100% no idea what they are doing, and every time they want a piece of the pie, they destroy it. I.e., the Postal Service and everything else, such as health care and all of that. If, I went and got myself some Red Ruby drink, which is all kinds of really good nutrients in the drink, and got me on that little sip. But I got to tell you that the inefficiency of our government really tells you how ignorant they truly are. Okay? Anybody with half a brain can figure out how to do something efficiently for the best effect. Okay? Well, let me rephrase that. Anybody that is capable of thinking beyond the box, beyond the limits, beyond the boundaries, beyond the little cookie cutter way of other people wanting your life to be, understands how to efficiently move through life for the best effect, to get what you need at the right and appropriate time. Okay? Not too many people know how to do that. Not too many people can sit down and say, I can do this efficiently and effectively. Because you're always going to have somebody else around you saying, oh, that's not how it's done. Really? No. It's easier for me if I do it this way. No, that's not how it's done. You have to follow the rules. We have policies here. Our employee handbook says that you must do this. Your employee handbook sucks. It's easier if I do it this way, because it doesn't matter what method you use or I use, we're still going to wind up achieving the same goal, are we not? That's not how it's done around here. Our employee handbook. You see what I mean? And that can go for the government, too. I've been asked, why do we have laws? And it's real simple. Holding people accountable is a really, really good thing. And if they do something wrong, you have to have a quote-unquote jury of your peers to be able to pass judgment on that person. By the way, the judge is the 13th jurist to make the decision of whatever case they're in. They're officiating. Now, when you look at the whole aggregate of everything that goes on around us, now think about this for a minute, because it's very, very important, because it will, people go, well, I don't want that political crap because, it's not affecting me. Do you vote every 2 to 4 years there, Bubba? Yeah, I bet you do, so it will affect you, okay? So let me just gear this to those folks who are still on the fence. And it's this. I would rather negotiate with my neighbors to be able to do something for the community in an efficient and effective manner without my government, city officials, mayor, whatever, coming to that neighborhood telling me that I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know a lot of people are going to, well, that's not the way it's done. Well, guess what? That's the way it's going to be done, whether you like it or not, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Government Official. I'm going to go to New York City, and I am going to buy 32 ounces of soda. And if you don't like it, hey, put the handcuffs on me. Next step in that parade is suing your ass into the ground. Okay? So, which one do you want? You're going to let the taxpayers put me in jail because I bought a 32-ounce soda? And then you're going to let the taxpayers under a, defense attorney turn around and ask me questions as to why I did this and try to defend my action? No. Simple solution there, Mr. Mayor, Bloomberg, Nanny State Bloomberg. Let me tell you what the simple solution is. Shut your damn trap and get your hands out of my life. I'm going to buy a damn 32-ounce soda, and if you don't like it, kiss my ass. Got it? But you can buy two 16-ounce sodas. Not the same there, genius. Okay? You want a revolution of biblical proportions coming to New York City? Oh, you continue on with your nanny state policies. I guarantee you're going to see things change real damn quick. All right? I've got relatives in New York City. All right? Actually, specifically, I think they still live in Manhattan. But I call upon all you people in New York City right now to protest. I don't care if you're doing it now in 5, 10, 15 people groups. No. You grab everybody and you say, look, we've got to stop this. You guys have come... New York City, the mayor is now authorizing more surveillance cameras of high-tech, futuristic nature. Hello? Retina scan? Biometrics? Hello? Oh, it's protecting us from terrorists. Really? Are you that stupid to believe that? Mayor Bloomberg, you are an idiot, sir. Okay, have you read the Constitution? So everybody in New York City right now, stand up. Well, after you listen to the show, I've only got another 38 minutes to go. And you go out and protest. You go out in the streets right now with signs, with banners, with people, and you protest. You protest. You have a right to protest. You also have the ability to choose whether or not you want something from somewhere. You go into your convenience store, you want a 32-ounce soda, you're getting a 32-ounce soda. Not two 16-ounce sodas. You have a choice. But you have a right to protest in that choice being taken away from you. And Nanny State Bloomberg wants to do that. So go out and protest. I remember seeing protests in New York on livestream.com, ustream.com. I remember that, all right? I remember back just a few months ago, May 31st to June 3rd, Chantilly, Virginia. The Bilderberg Group met there at the Marriott's. Alex Jones on his show called for people to go there. He went there. People all over the country went there. People all over the world came there. People were protesting. All you have to do is go out and say, I refuse to comply. I will not comply with Mayor Bloomberg. That's all you got to do. Don't call for anything. Because those little silver bracelets behind your back don't fit all that well. Or now they got zip ties. And the Gray Bar Motel isn't cheap to get out of. But go out and protest. Calling on citizens of New York City right now. Protest. You are against the policies of Mayor Bloomberg. Stand up. You will not comply. You will not comply. And by the way, use my phrase. I came up with this phrase. You can use it. It's not copywritten. Big old banner. We the people have the power, for we are America. That's what I tell you. We are the sole provider for their legitimate government. And they have taken the opportunity and the power that we lent them, and they are using it against us. Remember that. Okay? Remember that. So go out and protest. I will not comply. And put a big giant put a picture of a 32-ounce drink on the sign. I want my 32-ounce big gulp. Whatever it is. The next thing, if you let them get away with this, the next thing they'll be doing is telling you that you can't have a lemonade stand. Oh, wait a minute, they're already doing that. By the way, go to Liberty and Freedom Network and scroll down. You'll see a video that says 3 girls busted for illegal lemonade stand. You will not believe what the mother had said. Okay? It's amazing to me. Just my perspective on this. It is amazing to me that people do not have the balls to tell their mayor, up yours, buddy. Well, we don't want to get arrested. We don't, oh my God, there's more police out, and we don't want, excuse me? Excuse me? Are you not the same freaking people who protested earlier this year about a park? And you occupied the park. But you're going to let a globalist mayor like Mayor Michael Bloomberg, who's been at the Bilderberg meetings, tell you that you can't have a 32-ounce drink? Excuse me. I'm going to get my big gulp and you can kiss my ass. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, why are you being so rebellious? Why are you being so loud? Why are you being and calling on people to be rebellious against the law? I'm not asking people to be rebellious against the law. I'm asking people to protest. It's a call of action. Protest against the tyrannical, suppressive, oppressive laws that you are under. That's what I'm doing. I'm not telling you to violate the law. I'm telling you to protest against the tyrannical, oppressive, suppressive laws. Because if they get away with this, no telling what they're going to do to you next. Here in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, we have a little town next to it called Sparks, Nevada. And by the Jonasquagas Nugget, there's a sign near the bus station, the city bus station, that says, there's a sign on a light pole. You have to look up to see the sign. And it says, free speech zone. What? Excuse me? I thought free speech was all over the United States of America on every square mile of it. I guess not. This city, Reno, Nevada, and Sparks, Nevada, are in total and absolute violation of our First Amendment rights covered under the Constitution. Period. I want you to send me pictures. If you see signs like that, I want you to send me pictures. Send them to the show, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. I want to know what's happening in your neck of the week. You can send me videos too, by the way. Send me videos, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. There's a lot of things going on all over the United States, and I want to encourage everybody, turn off your damn TVs, because your local and national news, they're bought off by the government. They're reading scripts in their teleprompter given to them by Washington, D.C. And on that note, just want to say, email me personally at the show at freeamericaradio at USA.com. freeamericaradio at USA.com. I shall return right after this.
Are you tired of the mainstream media? The media that is so biased, you wouldn't even let your dog listen to it? Well, there's an answer. Angel Clark.
On RadioFreedom.us.
Just listen to her fans.
One hell of a writer. I've read a considerable amount of her articles and quite impressed.
Until Angel, my life was void of meaning.
I want to thank you for saving my goldfish from drowning.
I love Angel Clark's honesty and her down-to-earth concern about the people.
She is very dedicated.
Angel, we need you.
This Angel's a sexy woman. I think she's going to go places, but I don't know where.
Ladies and gentlemen, she does a good job.
If it wasn't for Angel,
you saved his life, and I will be indebted to you forever.
Sussex CountyAngel.com.
Be a part of Angel's Army.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on RadioFreedom.us.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the king of all dorks. Go listen to the Chris Top program right here on Spreaker.com. Whatever the subject you can think of, we talk about it. Come join Diana and Wayne as we discuss whatever it is that is happening in our lives.
Come and listen to Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Check it out on Spreaker.com.
For close to a century, our government leaders have been manipulated by sinister groups behind the scenes. The facts are out there, mostly hidden in plain sight. For over 15 years, one man has been at the forefront of the alternative media, both on terrestrial radio and now the internet. He has been given access and documents to the most secretive methods of those that are truly running our government. That man is Alex Jones. For more information, go to www.infowars.com or prisonplanet.com and listen to his nationally syndicated radio show, live audio streaming at infowars.com or prisonplanet.com.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
From family to friends in everyday life, he sees it for what it is. He'll tell you his views on family, politics, and what's in the news. From the world around him, he discusses many issues. Come listen to The Brian Keller Show right here on Spreaker.com. is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, 14th of August, 2012. A little correction on that last promo. You can hear the Brian Keller Show on KTRNradio.com. KTRNradio.com. Go check that out. Got the Brian Keller Show over there, the BK Show. Also got That Radio Show with your host, Jay Towers. And that's over at KTRNradio.com. Hey, we got a few minutes. More like, what is it? 14 minutes, something like that there. I don't know. Actually, no, we have more like 24 minutes. Excuse me, my math is a little off. But go to Liberty and Freedom Network at Facebook.com. And, go to, click on the link that reads, FBI raiding homes of Occupy activists. There go your freedom of expression. You see, Canadian neighbors, hello, freedom fighters up there, defenders of liberty. This is what happens when you don't, do what you have to do. FBI raiding homes of Occupy activists over at hangthebankers.com. Thank you. I got to find out who wrote this. It was just somebody there that wrote this. So thank you. Oh, there it is, by Jacques Fresco. Whether that's his name or not, that's okay. Thank you, Jacques, over at hangthebankers.com. U.S. newspaper has revealed that the FBI has been raiding the houses of anti-Wall Street protesters in Oregon and Washington in what the agency describes as, quote, ongoing violent crime investigation, unquote. The Oregonian newspaper reported that heavily armed domestic terrorism units of the FBI have been raiding the homes of activists in Seattle and Olympia and Washington and Portland, Oregon Seattle and Olympia, Washington and Portland, Oregon over the past few months. Over the last month. Excuse me. I got glasses on and I still can't read. The report said that at least 6 homes have been raided in the 2 states since July 10th. The FBI has described the raids as part of an ongoing violent crime investigation linked to last year's Occupy May Day protest, during which a number of minor acts of vandalism allegedly took place. In one of the raids, eyewitnesses reported as many as 80 agencies in body armor wearing military fatigues and armed with assault rifles participated in the raid. Quote, I just heard lots of pounding at 6 o'clock, and I got up and I saw the whole thing, unquote, said one of the eyewitnesses, adding, quote, I saw them screaming to get in. They were using the battering ram, and then finally the door just opened, unquote. FBI spokesman Beth Ann Steele told the newspaper, quote, the warrants are sealed, and I anticipate they will remain sealed, unquote. The paper said the agents were searching for, quote, anti-government or anarchist literature or material, unquote. And, quote, documentation and communications related to the offenses, including but not limited to notes, diagrams, letters, diaries, and journal entries, address books, and other documentation in written or electronic form, unquote. The Occupy Wall Street movement began when a group of demonstrators gathered in New York's financial district on September 17, 2011, to protest against corruption, the unjust distribution of wealth in the country, and the excessive influence of big corporations on U.S. policies. Let me jump back because one little line there, because I want you to realize, go check your history, Nazi Germany specifically. The paper said the agents were searching for, quote, anti-government and, quote, documentation and communications related to the offenses, including but not limited to notes, diagrams, letters, diary, and journal entries, address books, and other documentation in written or electronic form, unquote. Okay? The source on this story at hangthebankers.com is presstv.ir. Okay? So I'm giving you the links. In Nazi Germany, they raided everybody, took their papers, took documents, took everything, burned them, kept them, used them against the people. You understand where this is all going, right? You understand where all of this is headed, right? Well, if you don't, you better get your head out of your clouds and stop drinking your beer and watching your stupid sports programs because, you better learn about derivatives and how this country is in debt that we don't have to pay because it's all made up money out of thin air by the bankers telling the Treasury, you're going to have to print money to back this up. And they're going, whatever. You know. So, anyway, go to Liberty and Freedom Network on Facebook and go check out all of that. In the last few minutes, I just want to clarify something for you. I'm not against people who disagree with me. Matter of fact, I hope they do. Because that gives me an opportunity to show them all the links, all the resources, all the documents, and prove to them that they're wrong. But you see, I had to prove to myself what I was speculating for years and years and years. Even though I've been studying all of this for years and years and years. You ever look at something and go, man, I can't, that's not true. I can't believe that. There's no way that's true. You know, because you're so used to seeing at the checkout counters, you know, the Globe, the National Enquirer, and thinking all that is the actual stuff that's going on. No, that's all made up bullcrap. Well, some of that stuff is truthful and honest. No, it's not. It's not. And if it is, don't you think it'd be in like on TMZ or some other national program? Okay? Look what happened when Angelina Jolie stole Brad Pitt from Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, that's what she did. It was all over the news. It was all over the entertainment news, wasn't it? Well, you know, parts of it were on, you know, National Enquirer. Oh, you know, she did this, you know, whatever. No, it's all bullcrap. All those papers at your checkout counter, at the stores, in the checkout aisles, that are compulsive, that some psychologists have said are impulse buying tools. All that stuff needs to be at the bottom of a bird cage. Okay? Well, you can't say that because it's freedom of press. They can say whatever they want. And if it's not truthful, they can get sued. And National Enquirer has many different lawsuits against it. They haven't ever paid out any of the, you know, monies that are owed to the people, but, you know, that's just them. So, clarifying, I don't mind if people disagree with me. Honestly, I don't. Please do. But if you have something, if we're talking and you have something and you say you're wrong, and you don't have any proof why you are wrong, or why, you know, if you don't have anything on your end to prove to me what you're saying, that you're making a claim that I'm wrong, if you don't have anything in your hands tangible to sit down at the table of debate so that I can look it over, then you have nothing. And the only person that you're going to have to prove anything to is yourself. And if you use that lame excuse, I don't have to prove anything to anybody, then why don't you just do an about face and keep walking? Okay? That's all you got to do, you know? I don't mind if people disagree with me. I really don't. I really don't. But if I am going to say something, I'm going to have something to back it up. Why do you think I've given you links? Why do you think I've given you the resources and the web? Why? Because I'm backing up what I say. I'm proving to myself this is true. And of course, I'm going to go back and go, well, they said this in this article. I'm going to go look over here and see what they say about it. So for you to sit there to point your finger at me and tell me I'm wrong without ever proving to yourself that I am, or bringing any information to the table of debate to prove anything to me, is totally idiotic. And you don't deserve 2 seconds of my time. I'm serious. I'm giving you this information in hopes to enlighten and educate you on things. I'm not telling you what to do. You can do whatever it is you want to do. I only encourage and suggest that you go out and don't listen to me. Go out and look this stuff up yourself. But if you don't, no big deal to me. No sweat off my forehead. Continue to sit in your chair and drink your beer and watch your stupid sports programs. Boxing is a mutant sport and so is basketball. I don't really care. Okay? But if you actually get something out of this show, and it's actually something that you can take with you and say, you know what, I heard this, I'm going to go check this out. Please do. And then come back to me and we'll talk. Okay? Seriously? You know? Honestly, I don't have anything against anybody who disagrees with me. I really, really don't. Honestly, don't. What bugs me, what really frustrates me to no end, is the fact that, number one, people sometimes, I'm not going to say all the time, but sometimes people will look at me as I'm explaining something to them and then respond to me in a way that gives me the impression they weren't listening. And those people, I just walk away from and go, yeah, okay, you didn't hear me, all right. But then they'll say, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, what did I say? I don't, something about, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not asking you, well, let's switch this around. I'm not telling you to listen to me. You don't have to. You can listen to whatever it is you want to listen to. It's called selective hearing. Take whatever you want from this and go out and check it out yourself. I'm encouraging you to turn off your local and national and cable news because they're just total absolute ignorant and idiots and they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. I was listening to a national syndicated host today. Somebody called into the show, mentioned something about a place out, in the South. And the host said, oh, I don't want to get into that. I appreciate your call. Thank you very much. And hung up. I don't want to get into that conspiracy stuff. Really? You don't want to get into the conspiracy stuff when you know damn well that the country is conspiring against you, Mr. Syndicated Radio Program host. I mean, think about it. Anybody that has a show here on Spreaker, where I broadcast from, on the Liberty and Freedom Network, has to know that, number one, your government can care less about you. Seriously. Okay? And for people to take stuff, and use it as their own and criticize it and whatever, hey, More power to me, because the word gets out, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Okay? All my shows are copywritten. All my shows have a copyright on it. They're mine. Okay? Liberty and Freedom Network. That's me. That's my organization. You take the stuff, you better credit me for it. Okay? I don't mind if you take it. I don't mind if you analyze it, whatever. It doesn't matter. The information is out there. Like you've heard me today give you websites, give you links, and I credit the link to the article to the people at the link, at the website. That's the way it should be. But I got to tell you, I mean, you know, people are, and oh my God, how many times, let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask all my listeners this question, and you can email me your answer at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. That is my personal address for the show. You can email the show at Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com, Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Let me ask you a question. You're over at a friend's house, your friend asks you a question. Asks you a question about, let's just say, asks you a question about, I don't know, price of gas or whatever it is. Your friend asks you a question. You begin to answer that question, and all of a sudden your friend cuts you off and says, well, why is that? Well, hold on, and I will continue. And it may answer your question. They hold on, you continue, you're still talking, they interrupt you again with another question. Let me ask you this question. In regards to a scenario similar to that. At what point do you just say, you know what, I give up? I'm trying to explain this to you, and all you're doing is interrupting me, stopping my train of thought, and asking me stupid questions, or questions that absolutely have no answer, and I shouldn't be answering them anyway. And you're asking me questions about what I'm talking about, and you're not letting me finish, and hopefully within that you will have those questions answered. How can you not how can you not listen to me and hopefully have your questions answered? How? Have you ever been in that type of scenario? Have you ever been in that type of scenario where at one point you just say, I give up. I'm trying to talk to you and all you're doing is interrupting me. I'm done. Don't ask me anything else. Have you ever been to that point? Well, people are at that point now in the United States of America. They're looking at Washington, D.C. and saying, what the hell are you doing? Well, we're doing it. No. We don't want to hear excuses. We want you to tell us what you're doing. And they tell us, we don't like the answer. We go and find different alternative ways of getting the answer. We find out the truth behind their lies, and then we confront them with them. And what is the response? Oh, I really didn't mean it that way. Here's what I meant. And then they give you some other bullcrap answer. Okay? So when your friend says, can you tell me about this? And you begin to talk and your friend keeps interrupting, what is the one thing that you should do? Well, in my book, from my perspective, I would just shut up and go, that's it. I'm not going to talk. And if they say, well, what? I'm going to tell them, you keep interrupting me and I'm going to give you the answer, but you're just sitting there interrupting me. Well, I want to know. Well, then shut your pie hole. You may get the answer, but you need to listen. This is what we need to tell the politicians that we voted into office in Washington, D.C. Shut your big damn pie hole. Listen to us. You will do what we tell you to do, and that's the way it's going to be. And if you don't like it, we'll vote your ass out in November. Now, how is that any different than talking to your friend? Because they're going to interrupt us too, you know. But then again, go back in history and think about this. Book burnings, you know, the Nazis went in and took, you know, information and documents and this and that. Killed a bunch of people. But think about that. Because now we have the opportunity with the internet to get out there, to find the answers, to get the answers, to go to alternative sites and find the answers because other people are finding the answers. And if you have questions, you might as well just look at the information right there that you're reading and stop interrupting your train of thought and read what's there because your questions are going to be answered. With the government the way that it is, with Washington, D.C., not the government, you and I are the government, with Washington, D.C. being the way they are, they're not going to listen to any one of us. And we have to collectively come together and say, enough's enough. They will then, at that point, listen. When they know that their political careers are on the line. When they know that their livelihood is on the line. I believe in term limits. I believe in term limits. Well, you get nothing done. You shouldn't be a lifelong congressman. No. 2 terms. That's it. Get out. Oh, wait about 4 years, maybe 6 years, and maybe you can run again. Great. President, hello. We need to change the whole thing. All of it. Congress, everything. President, vice president, you name it. We need to change it. 6 years at the most. Period. Done. You're gone. Done. Get out. Bye. You know? That's the way it should be. But think about it. Think about it. You talk to your friend, he keeps interrupting you. He's not going to get the answer. Why? He's not going to listen. And there are people around you who are not going to listen. You really need to show them that you know what you're talking about. And if they still don't listen, well, give them a beer, turn on the TV, let them watch their stupid sports programs and their stupid reality shows, because that's all they're going to know. You know what I mean? That's all they're going to know. Hey, the music tells me we're going to get out of here. It's been a fun 2 hours, and I've ranted, and I want to know what's on your mind. Send it to Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. Liberty and Freedom Network at USA.com. A lot of things going on, and I'd like to know what's happening in your neck of the woods. You can email me personally at the show at freeamericaradio at USA.com. That's freeamericaradio at USA.com. And remember, we the people have the power, for we are America.